Welcome or welcome back. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I have a lot of different planners in front of me today, and today I thought it would be fun to talk about my planner system. But in order to talk about what my current planner system is, I kind of wanted to take you through an evolution of my planner system, like where it started and how I evolved into what I'm currently using today. And that way you can kind of understand the philosophy and thought process of how I organize my life and mental health and goal planning and all of those things, and how each of these planners function in my system. And maybe you can see at some point in the journey, because my life has changed so much since I started planning. I started using, I've been planning and journaling for years, but the planner community has evolved so much in that time. I think I joined the planner community in and of itself kind of started around 2015, and just so many different products have come out since then. And so I feel like I've pretty much tried a lot of different sizes, I would follow the trends. And then I also, through that time, I got my master's, a PhD, I got married, I got divorced, like all these things. All of my life events kind of shape how I use planners. And so I started a career, and so you can kind of see how each planner serves a function for a specific time in my life. And so I want to start with my very first planner in 2015. I feel like these personal ring planners in like A5 are the main things people were using, in the Erin Condren ones. But this is what I was really drawn to in 2015. I loved how small it was. I loved how customizable it was. I really wanted the lilac one that KikiK had, but this was the one they had available on their website at the time. And because it was my very first real luxurious planner, this is so special to me. And so I've kept it, and I have all the original inserts that I used and had set up at the time. And so, and there was very limited options for inserts too. I think the Etsy shop So Much Crafting was really popular. And so I had a month on one page for my layouts. Oh, this is kind of out of order. 2016. This is 2015. This is how my style of planning started. And then I was always kind of drawn to like a month or a week on one page and a grid. And that's still true today. My functional planning, I call it functional planning because this is how I plan for, it's functional because I need it to plan my week and get things done. And so, but I loved all the stickers. I'm trying to figure out why my 2016 calendars are here. Maybe it goes from 2015 to 2016. Yeah. Okay, I guess I started with a KikiK calendars. And so I would always have like a monthly, I always had 4 sections: monthly, weekly, to-do list, and notes. And the monthly sections would serve as like appointments that I would know ahead of time, assignments since I was in school at the time. I don't even think I was working at that time, so I didn't have anything. That's when me and my ex-husband started dating. But yeah, this is how I originally started with planning. It's the week on one page and then the to-do list. And I did this style all the way through 2018. So this is 2017. I loved sticker kits. And that's my graduation from my master's program. And this worked really well for me. I was also doing memory planning in an A5 rings. So I did personal rings for minimal, minimal planning was not a thing at this time. Everything was very much decorative. But I did memory planning simultaneously in an A5 binder because those were kind of like the main sizes, personal rings or A5. And I felt like A5 was too big to take with me to work, but I loved sitting down at the end of the week and kind of scrapbooking in a scrapbook style mentality, getting to reflect on what actually happened. And I loved using like the Erin Condren sticker kits because you were either like in an A5 rings or Erin Condren or personal rings at that time, I feel like. And so I loved like holiday kits. This was such a like therapeutic thing to sit down like on a Saturday or Sunday and just put stickers down and reflect on the week. And so this is how like the philosophy of planning kind of started for me. I would have one planner for planning ahead and then one planner for like really getting to decorate and not worry about messing up, because the idea of like buying a sticker kit and like putting the stickers down and then having to like scratch something out or plans changing really bothered me. So being able to have one planner for what I expect to happen and then one for what actually happened was my way of keeping things neat and then also having something to like archive. And then I also was experimenting with the standard traveler's notebooks because that was always a thing too. Traveler's Company was not really on my radar, but like Listers are gonna, I got like a standard notebook and would do I really enjoyed making these spreads and like being really creative with journaling cards and stickers. And I also really enjoyed decorating the books. And then there were also a lot of standard size accessories from Traveler's Company that I got. This was called like a faux dory. And so, yeah. So I've always been in like a creative traveler's notebook too. And so that's been part of my system for just kind of getting to create like a collage or do some kind of project on the side because after I would do my functional planning for the week, that was already set up. I would wait till the end of the week to do my memory planning, but then I wanted something creative and crafty to do. And so getting to set up these traveler's notebooks was kind of another creative artistic outlet. And so I had these going on. And then I think it was 2018 when I started getting into all the different size TNs. And so this is a pocket size TN, and I was subscribed to Planner Press. It was like my first subscription, and I think this is a Planner Press subscription, and I would start doing like seasonal setups and different size traveler's notebooks. I had a traveler's notebook in every single size. So I had a pocket size, I had an A6 size. I think I still have it. So I still have the A6 size. I don't have it set up the way it was anymore. I still have all the pieces, and so I think I'm going to reset this up just like for nostalgia reasons, because these little clear pockets were from Foxy Fix, and that was just so fun, such a creative outlet to set up. And then I was planning in a B6 TN, which I don't have set up anymore. I completely archived. So this is, I archived the inside of it, but I do want to show it to you because this was a pretty significant shift in my planner system, and this is why. So I had two different covers that I really loved. I loved the B6 TN for multiple reasons. It gave me the flexibility. This is from Pell Studio, and this is from Foxy Fix, which they are no longer. I don't know if Pell Studio is in business, but Foxy Fix shut down during the pandemic, which was such a huge loss to the planner community. Everyone loved Foxy Fix. But the B6 TN was like the perfect setup because it was the same size as personal rings, but doesn't have rings. You got so much more real estate in paper compared to a ring insert. And then I could do the whole creative setup that I loved with my TNs. And so it gave me the best of all the worlds. And so I loved being in a B6 TN. I still miss it. I really want to reset these planners up because this was like the cutest setup. I had them, the reason why I archived it is because I had it sitting on a shelf and it got like sun damage or something, and so I got worried. But these were the inserts I was in, and I had to print and make all my own inserts, which was how I got into printables. But it was such a, I don't know, a labor of love. I really enjoyed every part of getting to make. It was just such a customizable, and every aspect of it was like, I made this entire planner. And so the weekly, I experimented with like vertical layouts because there was just so much to experiment with printables. And so I think this kind of took over my memory planning. So I was in a vertical spread and using Erin Condren kits. And then my functional planning was still a week on one page, and then a page for lists. But it was nice because I could have it in one book. I was habit tracking. These kits were so beautiful. And then in 2019 and 2020, I was so busy. I was in my PhD program and really didn't have a lot of time for memory planning. And so I switched to the Hobonichi Weeks, which was the ideal layout for me. I always had like a monthly, weekly, and there was sticker kits, and so it was still the week on one page in the to-do list. And so this layout worked really well for me, and it was so small. I think my philosophy has always been like, what's the smallest planner I can be in and do the most? And so the fact that this had the capability of having my month, week, and then to-do list in the back just kind of replaced my system for a while. And then when in 2020, during the pandemic, I was experimenting with minimal functional planning, and that's how I discovered the Discbound system and fell in love with Mini Happy Planner for the same reason I loved all my other systems. So it's like the same size as Personal and B6. It's literally, and then it uses a B6 cover, but because it's disc bound, you get the most real estate for the paper. And the thing I liked about rings is you could customize the sections and you could take out the paper. And with TNs and bookbound, you can't do that. And so when I saw the HP Mini and saw that you can take out the paper. That was really what I was craving at the time. I was working in person at a treatment center. I was still in my PhD program, and so I had a huge need for being able to customize the sections and be able to take out pages. And so this was the ideal system for me. And I have so many videos over the HP Mini because I was in it from 2020 to 2024. And because of that, I found so many different inserts. I collected so many different discs. I just was really able to customize the perfect planner and find so many different covers that just made this perfect for me. This was like a functional planner for me. I was doing completely functional, very minimal stickers. I still liked the weekly. I still liked having like a monthly, weekly notes to do, but I was kind of craving like something I could do creative when I had the time. And so that's when I started buying the Hobonichis and the B6 Common Planner. And I was also going through a lot of health problems at the time. And so the original intent of I bought an A6 Hobonichi to be like my memory planner, and it was just kind of like a way to track what I was doing and use creative stickers and just make it like a really cute daily journal. And then I was also experimenting with this at the same time, the B6 Common Planner. It was very familiar style for me because I had been using the A5 rings. And so it took me a little while to see how I wanted to use it, but I just knew I wanted a place for like what actually happened during the day, using stickers, a creative outlet. And so these two kind of functioned in a similar way. In the monthly sections, I was tracking health stuff. The daily section, I was recording what happened during the day. I really liked the goals and having a weekly overview. I experimented with journaling in the back. And that actually is still everything I'm using today. I've been doing that since, I guess, 2023. The only thing I've changed is I've set I no longer need a Discbound for minimal functional planning. And so I've set the mini happy planner aside. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it because I won't ever get rid of it because I know that if I go into teaching or if I go into a different career, I will need a Discbound planner at some point. But right now, the way my life looks, I'm working remote and I'm doing a lot of writing and research. So my minimal functional planner for 2025 has just been the in-one common planner, which is kind of similar to the weeks format, but it's just bigger and standard TN size. And it has the it has the monthly section. It has a week on one page and a to-do list, which is the style I've been familiar with throughout my planning. I like to do appointments on one side, day specific to-dos on another, week specific to-dos. I started tracking habits here. And so I always have to have one planner for that purpose. And then I've been doing my master to-do lists back in the notes section. So having a book bound for that has been working perfectly for me. And for 2026, I'm actually going to be changing from an in-one back to a week's size, because I don't need all the space, even though the reason why I originally picked in-one for 2025 is because I love the flexibility of being able to use this in various covers. It fits in the compact size, fits in my Traveler's Company covers, it fits in my Emily notebook if I want to use it in here. I have a couple of Moterm covers, and then I also have these I have two covers from Chili Leather that I really like for the standard size, but I also have a bunch of standard size notebooks that I use for creative purposes. And so I think I'll be okay switching out of the common planner, and just using this as my functional planner. And I just really like how slim and compact it is. Going back to that same philosophy, I always like, for my functional planning, I always like to be in something that's in the smallest size possible, and something that will have a monthly, weekly, week on one page with a grid and a spot for lists. And this is set up perfectly for me. I don't need to take out any pages to rearrange it. I prefer all my monthlies to be together because I'm scheduling appointments ahead of time. And so this kind of acts as my future log. And it's just something that's just how I've done my planning forever. So it's just what I'm used to. And so this is what I'm going to be using for 2026. And then for my minimal functional planner, and then I'm back in a standard TN for just creative art planning, memory keeping, like I was from the very beginning, like creating spreads from events or just collages. And so I love having one planner set up for that. I have actually multiple traveler's notebooks set up for that because I just love setting up traveler's notebooks. And they're not planners, they're not date specific, so I can just come in here and put ephemera down for an event that I went to, or I can just open it up and create a collage if I'm wanting to just create something pretty that day. And so I have like 4 traveler's notebooks that I'm in and out of. And I even the traveler's notebook itself is a creative project because of getting to put all the little pieces and setup. I just love doing setups, and so I'll always have these in my lineup. And then for my memory planner, I'm using the Common Planner. I have fallen in love with the B6 Common Planner and the Sterling Ink sticker kits. The philosophy of this is similar to what I've been doing for years, like starting with that A5 ring binder is just having a place to reflect on the week and put my thoughts and use stickers and be creative. And so it kind of serves as an archive. And so the layout is just familiar because that's just what I've been doing for a few years. And so it does, because it is like supposed to be like a functional planner, I do use the goal pages for my goals. And then I use the monthly pages for gratitude, like 1 line a day. And then the weekly pages are just for weekly reflections, things I'm thinking about, what I actually did that day, movies I'm watching, lyrics that are on my mind. It's just whatever I want to put on paper. And the back section is a journal. And so it's not dated, which I love because I don't journal every day, but the days I do, I like to write for multiple pages. And so, and these are like very personal thoughts that I don't like to show on, that I don't put on camera or take pictures of, but I still make them pretty because it's therapeutic to me. But I do love this full year B6 version, so I'll be using that again for next year. I already got the B6 full year in this version, in this color, and so my lineup is looking like this. And then I'll also be in an A6 Hobonichi. I'm currently in an A6 Hobonichi right now for like, it's really hard to explain what this is for because it's so personal and unique to me that and it has evolved. It originally started out as like a memory planner, but I don't even think I can put into words what this is because it's not really something I can share, and it just feels kind of like another part of me. And it's hard to, I track my moods, I track my cycle, I track certain triggers. And so this just feels like something that helps ground me and anchor me, and it's very needed. And I just love the size too. It's so cute. And I love collecting the covers. I think one day I'll be able to explain more about this, but it's hard to explain it. I hope it's interesting to see kind of how my system has evolved. I have plenty of journals as well, but I just kind of wanted to keep to my planner system. And I really appreciate y'all's comments that ask for clarification or wanting me to go into detail about anything more specific, because that helps me know what you're interested in. So feel free to make any request in the comments or let me know what you found helpful in this, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.